Because once you remove the Sheridan Expressway, you basically open up lines of communication that didn't exist when the Sheridan, or doesn't exist when, because the Sheridan is there. You also opened up access to the Bronx River, access to parks that didn't exist. And because we don't have that kind of access in our community as we should have, I think it affects people's health. So there's been a lot of talk about obesity rates in our communities, a lot of asthma, a lot of health issues, and I believe that's because we don't have enough parks, because we don't have enough ways to exercise, because all we have is concrete around us. We're the concrete jungle.
Basically, yeah. And how you can see the community doing something, because it's okay if I do something or I educate myself, but the community, if they don't do anything, how can you motivate people to want to do this?
Well, the community is the stakeholders in the issue. They're the people who get to say, you know, I think this is a great idea and I want this, or I think this is a bad idea and I don't want this. Community folks should be the ones saying yes or no to anything. They should be the ones involved in anything that happens in the community. They should have to say.
So if you were to be the president of this area right here, or the government of this area, how will you get people attention to they care about this?
Well, you don't have to be a governor or president to get people's attention in the community. Doing the work that we do, organizing, the easiest way to get people's attention is by doing events in the community, by going out and surveying, by calling people, by emailing people, by saying, you know what, Concrete Plant Park it's my park day. Do you want to come out to the community and you know, talk about issues? That's how I see us getting attention. Because there are a lot of elected officials out there who are good in this community, but they haven't taken a public stand on whether they agree or disagree with the Sheridan being there. The borough president's office says that they agree with the Sheridan being there. The community board have said that they agree with the Sheridan being there because they feel that communities outside of this neighborhood won't be able to get to like Manhattan easier, or to New England easier, or to wherever else people use highways for in this community.
Okay. So you know how we have 16,000, right? 16,000 trucks coming in and out, and it's all because of the Sheridan. How do you connect this to the food desert that we live in? Like Hot Springs is a food desert. So
well, the community we live in is it's a food desert because we don't have access to healthy food, because the food that we do have here is some of the poorest of the poor. We got the Hunts Point Market, for example, and they're one of the nation's top food distribution centers, yet we get the worst food out of that place, right? And that's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence that we have highways and we have pollution and we have a food desert. It's all made to be worked that way, because when you live in a community that is poor or low income, the government neglects it. They say, you know what, there's no point in me putting stuff in there because you can't afford it, right? So how does that all relate into one thing? Well, it's simple. We live in a community that is the poorest congressional district in the whole entire United States, which means that whenever money comes from the government, we get the last of it. Out of a dollar, we get pennies.
But why that happen?
Because there are people out there who think that it's okay for us to suffer because we don't have access like we should.
But I feel like that happened because we haven't showed the government, whoever, the